The Untitled Super Cool Nerd Show.
Brought to you by Smoking.
Exclusively on DeepElmOnAir.com.
Hey, Stella!
Live from an undisclosed location in Deep Ellum. This is the Untitled Super Cool Nerd Show. I screwed up the intro. I don't give a damn about what you think about it, all right?
It's true.
Hi, everyone. Have I already started Venomous already? Jeez.
Yeah.
But welcome back. Another week of this. That is my host over there, Chris Danger.
Bueno, bueno.
I am Jason EX. And who are these strange people in our studio, man? How do people keep finding this place?
You know, dude, I didn't tell them. I think you did, man.
You look familiar.
Yeah.
You look familiar. Do you own a red car?
I do have a red car.
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Last Thursday was kind of fuzzy to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still gauging what happened. Anyway, no, seriously. We got this week the creator and some of the cast of Stella B and the Busted League. Very happy to have these guys on. That is, okay, we got our Skycam. Okay.
Yeah, we got Skycam
We'll do
5 there.
introductions in a second here and let everybody know what they're all about. So, okay, so
You go
going
for
around the table. Your name, sir,
I'm
please.
Ben Bryant.
And I'm trying
On the table. And next,
Who's the dashing fellow over
Who's
there?
the dashing gray-haired fellow?
The gray-haired fellow. That's me. That's I'm Jeff Smith. I'm the writer-director of the show.
Excellent, Jeff. Who's the pretty lady right next to you?
I'm Jocelyn Everett. I play Stella B.
That's where I've seen her from.
Ooh, that's where I've seen her before. Okay. And then we're going to come back around on the X here. Who is this beautiful young lady?
I'm Laura Jennings, and I play Karen Hyde. That's Karen with an I.
Karen with an I.
Seriously?
In case anybody's doing a transcript.
But anyway, no, these guys, they do a great YouTube series called Stella B and the Busted League. We're going to have them talk a little bit about it. I've been following it. You guys are up to episode 2 now.
Yes.
And I actually got to be a guest on their episode 2.
That's right.
Yeah.
As if you didn't
It was
know
fun.
we're up to episode 2.
Well, I'm trying to, an air of mystery. Yes, I was there.
I was on episode 2.
I'm trying not to, I don't want to be egotistical. Yes, I watch it just for me. Yeah, right. Like anybody cares or who knows who I am. Anyway, somebody get the creator a proper chair.
The creator's
What?
fine.
He's
Yeah.
fine. That's disturbed. It's nice you care so much. He don't care. He don't care. But anyway, no, about the show. Jeff, tell us what made you come up with this idea.
Do you want the $5 answer or the 50-cent answer?
This is a 2-hour show. And you only get an hour of it. We got other stuff.
Well, I could
The idea of the 50-cent answer makes me think he's going to strip down and start rapping the answers. So we might want to go with the $5.
Wow. There any kids watching today? No.
Hope so.
Nope. We're good.
Yeah, we're good. Well, I've been a a movie, TV, science fiction, fantasy fanatic ever since I could breathe, basically. And I've always been really interested in filmmaking, but up until just recent years, the tools weren't really all that available. I mean, if you really wanted to shoot something and make it look professional, you had to hire a professional edit deck, and you had to have really expensive cameras.
Drop a couple of grand on equipment.
Exactly. So it's really only like the last 10 years or so when, digital technology has really made it possible to do, sort of no budget filmmaking. And I figured, hey, I'm not getting any younger, so it's my time to try. So I had a couple different ideas I was developing. I was a comic book self-publisher in the early aughts. I did 2 different books back then, neither of which was particularly successful. So I kind of took some of those experiences and sort of wrapped them up in this idea I had about just this sort of, the short answer is, it's friends with nerds. I always wanted to do a show about sort of a peer group that I kind of never really had growing up. I always wanted to hang out with a bunch of funny, cool nerds that loved the same kind of stuff I did, but I never really had that kind of a social group available to me. So that was kind of the main inspiration, was just really kind of wanting to write a show about the kind of thing I always wanted to participate in and never really had the chance. So that's kind of mainly where it came from. And, there's a lot of inspirations for various aspects of it, from life and from art and, other shows that I loved. But that's the basics. That's the buck and a quarter answer.
I think we said it before. This is the nerd age, man.
Yes, this is
our
the age
time.
of the nerds, man. We do rule the world.
Like you say friends with nerds. We're pretty much,
over.
we're the View for nerds is what we consider ourselves.
Yeah,
There we go. So which one is Whoopi?
I'm going to go ahead and be Whoopi.
I guess
I
I'll be
wanna be
Sherry
Whoopi.
Shepherd.
So you put together quite a cast. A lot of them are friends of mine or people that I've seen at least once in local theater around here. So I was happy to see like a bunch of people that I know all on the same show.
Oh, hold on. I can't admit that I know you.
Really?
Is this live?
I know where you live. Oh, actually, she knows where I live
I
too.
know
better
where you
not.
live.
Dang. That threat just became very empty. We'll be over at each other's houses, like waiting in the bushes. When is she gonna come home?
There you go.
Both fall asleep and nothing happens. It's like soccer.
Lothar?
But yeah, you pulled together a pretty talented pool because a lot of you guys have had a lot more experience in some of the stuff that we've done together, and I've kind of looked at some of their, what are they doing? Okay, maybe I should do what they're doing. So it was good to see. Like, did you just know everybody just from different stuff, and you just kind of
Not at all.
contacted them? Did you have a casting call, or is this more of you just call people up, and say, okay, here's what I'm doing?
Well, it was sort of an interesting progression. I really didn't know anybody from the cast before I started this process. But I had decided that if I was going to invest this much time and effort in doing this, that I really wanted to see if I could get the best people I could possibly get who would work for no money.
We're not
Hey.
Oh, whoops. That
Shocker.
cat out of the bag. So what I did was I decided I would try to cast it like a regular show, and I would, sort of explore the avenues that you go to try to get people aware of a project and to come in and audition for it. And really, Laura was kind of the key to that because I knew Laura through Joe Cuccinati from Wave Runners.
I know that guy.
And,
Oh, yeah, we know him.
I was going to say, I think we all know Joe. And Laura was an old friend of Joe's, and I really had not ever met her, but just through kind of Facebook interactions of looking at Joe's, she would often post like really funny things on Joe's wall, and I would see the pictures and think, wow, she's just...
Yeah.
Laura posting things on people's wall, really?
No, I don't believe that.
But I seriously thought that the Karen character was going to be the toughest thing to cast, but it ended up being the easiest because I'd seen like some Laura's pictures. She really looked the part, and she really seemed to have this great sense of humor, which is I was looking for. And so I got a hold of Joe and I said, look, I know this friend of yours, Laura. I was like, I think she's really perfect for this part. And he's like, yeah,
wow.
give her a holler.
Whacking the table there.
So basically, Laura didn't even audition. I just pre-cast her, and she was like, "Well, I know a lot of really great actors in town. Let's, and she really helped me out with the whole process of casting. Jocelyn came in purely because she was a friend of Laura's, and Ben came in because he was a friend of Jocelyn's, and Alexis again was.
This is a
friends of pretty much
domino
everybody.
effect. Awesome.
Yeah.
Really, it completely was. The only person that was kind of slightly out of the loop was Daniel, because Daniel came in. I put an ad in. There's a web newsletter called The Column by
John Garcia.
John Garcia. Sorry, John. And I just for anybody that wants to produce a local web series, that is a fantastic place to put an audition.
Starving
Notice.
actors.
Yes. Because we got a tremendous
Which reminds me,
response.
what's that website again?
So we put an ad in the column. I mean, he put a listing in the column that we were having auditions, and we got a pretty tremendous response from that. And we got Daniel through that venue. So I mean, yeah, it did end up kind of being a lot of friends of friends, but I mean, we still went through about a month process of casting, and just came out with this spectacularly talented cast that constantly amazes me.
Well, with that, Laura, with so many people that does just working on this seem a lot easier?
Yes, especially like I'd never had a chance to work with Ben Bryant. I'd seen him on stage, so that was kind of like, yeah, I get to work with Ben. I love working with Jocelyn because we tend to kind of think along the same lines.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go get margaritas. Sure, let's go. That was pretty much Thursday.
It's just nice to be able to work with someone that you already have chemistry with, and like Jocelyn is great. She's full of ideas and fresh new things, and she's a very funny lady.
Well, and I was going to say, after we had cast Jocelyn, she was then really instrumental in bringing a whole lot of other people in, especially for Becky. Becky was a really tough part to cast. And Jocelyn had a lot of great ideas. So I mean, Laura, the joke has always been that Laura and Jocelyn need to open their own casting agency because they have a lot of
connections.
Yeah, I mean, they're great people.
Let me go through my list real quick. Yeah, I got somebody right here.
So they're busy for a while, but after we're done shooting this season, then you can talk to them about casting.
Okay.
Pretty good.
They're good.
We really are. Yeah.
So episode 1, how long? Because these are actually, I mean, you see a lot of YouTube series, and they're rather, they're short series. But you guys went for a full sitcom run, which is pretty awesome, I think. How long from episode 1 start and finish? Just curious.
You talking about the runtime, or how long did it take to shoot?
No, not the runtime. I can see the runtime on
Well,
YouTube,
that's
dude.
right. I thought that was kind of an
How long just to put a 30-minute episode together? Because that's roughly what your episodes was.
I mean, if you just count the casting process, it probably was about.
Yeah, once you get
three-
everybody in
It was
line.
probably about three months, maybe, start to finish.
That's tricky though because we were shooting parts of episode 2
Right.
and 3 intermixed with everything else.
Right.
So
It
it's
wasn't
hard
like
to
we-
kind of define.
So you
what
guys are pretty
period
much,
it is.
you've laid out your season, but you're sometimes just
Yeah, I mean, we definitely
Should have
do a
seen
lot
from
of-
something else.
We do a lot of overlapping shooting as far as one episode to the other.
continuity issues.
Yeah, they're always.
And a matter of
Continuity,
getting everybody together in one
continuity.
room at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you all are very busy local actors. I mean, I every time I see your pages or something, you're always doing something, whereas I'm kind of like,
Well, yeah,
Lazy.
Jocelyn's got 3, 4.
good Lord.
Good Lord, woman.
How many?
Three.
3.
Technically 3, but one of them is just an annual event that's not a troupe. So that's a little bit less.
Well, except that's the one you personally
But that's the
produce.
one that I produce,
So
so
that
it's
takes a lot of,
yeah.
probably just as much time as a troupe you're just a regular member of.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we've all worked together though. You
Oh,
just,
yeah.
You don't, because you're not.
I've just been running the board
You're
for
not
years,
making-
man. I'm not that cool.
Well, we're doing promo, so you're in there.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, like how many? We've done like one play, or we've done improv together.
Yeah, improv. Yeah.
Ben, I barely know you.
Yeah, this is my first project with most of these people officially. I mean, I've gone out
Yeah.
for, I think the most I've done ever with Jocelyn is singing Cruisin' by Smokey Robinson at a karaoke joint.
Oh yeah, it was so good.
Can you do a little bit of that now?
I don't think we have tracks with us, and I don't know if
Hold on a second. I got a computer right here.
me and my big mouth.
Chris, hit it.
We do have some really talented singers, though. Jocelyn and Ben.
Yeah,
Alexis is awesome. You're
Alexis,
very
I like
good.
to sing.
Oh
Yeah.
no, you're kidding.
There could easily
We've
be
done-
a
we've
musical
done drunken
episode
karaoke
facility,
before.
Like it could totally happen.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
That would be amazing.
Like-
You still owe me a laserproof song off LaRue.
Oh, God, yeah.
The Star Wars Connect.
Oh, that's right.
Laser
Don't you
proof.
badmouth Star Wars Connect again. Just stay over there.
Hey, look, dude, that's what I'm doing today. By the way, if you guys want to call in on Skype, Untitled SCNS, 214-741-1999, or Google Voice 512-843-5586. That's 84LM.
And people in the chat want to hear Ben sing. So
Come on, Ben.
Well, thank you very much.
let's hear those. I'm quoting. Let's hear those pipes, Ben.
Do it, baby. You're on
We're
camera
gonna.
one.
You know what? We're gonna get. No.
Those fingers in my hair, that sly, come hither stare, that strips my conscience bare, it's witchcraft. And I've got no defense for it, the heat is too intense for it, what good would common sense for it do? 'Cause it's witchcraft, wicked witchcraft. And although I know it's strictly taboo, when you arouse the need in me, my heart says yes indeed in me. Proceed in what you're leading me to. It's such an ancient pitch, but one that I wouldn't switch, for there's no nicer witch than you. Thank you, chatters.
And with that,
Oh, Ben Bryant.
okay. Ben,
You have the rights
please.
for that to use that song now.
Not bad, not
Don't we-
bad at all, apparently, from the chatters.
I think we're gonna have to pay an ASCAP fee on that now.
I'm
dude.
saying.
Damn it, BMI!
I always try to avoid getting sued. Right?
Thank you, estate of Sammy Kahn.
So, Ben, what kind of history with theater do you have around the area?
I've
Because
been.
you work downstairs. Wait,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can't reveal our location.
You jackasses never mix your recycling.
Hey, don't get mad at me, dude.
Hey, wait a minute. I don't throw anything out. I don't live here. I live far away from here.
No, I've been working in Dallas for the better part of the last decade. I started in, probably around 2001, 2002, doing shows right out of college. And I went to school over in Commerce, Texas, which is, about an hour and a half worth of drive.
A&M Commerce.
Yeah, go Lions. And the jobs for somebody who's trying to work in theater, as you may well guess, are few and far between. So in 2005, in what can only be described as a serendipitous series of events, I was able to get the job downstairs with the theater company that I've now been working with for the last 8.
Yeah, isn't that surprising? I found that out too.
That's why you look familiar.
Yeah.
I live here in the neighborhood, dude.
Okay, there
I
you
go.
go.
The top secret theater downstairs.
I was
as
going to
well.
say the undisclosed neighborhood.
Yeah.
The basement nobody can get to.
Exactly.
I always pass by there. I'm like, how do I get down into that thing?
That's right. I have to let you in.
Ah, okay. I was wondering why they were already in the lobby when I came. I was like, how the hell did they get in the door?
Exactly.
We got powers, sir.
So Jocelyn contacted you on this one, right?
Yeah, I was at my house late one night, on the Facebooks or
It was
Facebooks.
dark.
The
stormy
Facebooks.
night.
as you do, and I got this text message from Jocelyn. Essentially read, "There's this web series coming up. I think you should audition for. I think there's a good role for you in it for you." Excuse me. And this was already a day into what I think were auditions. And the next day, I scheduled something up, and it seemed very last minute, but fortunately, I was able to get a slot. And I read very quickly with Jeff, who almost immediately said, "Ben, I want you for Doc." Which has to be...
It was
a
not
rec-
almost immediate. It was extremely immediate.
It has to be the quickest, most successful audition I've ever been on.
Well, and Ben was a godsend, frankly, because we were having a lot of trouble casting this particular role, partly because it was written older than Ben is. It was written for a guy who was like 38, 39.
You kind of hear the name Doc, and you kind of think that.
You think
Yeah.
some dude in his 40s, yeah.
So yeah, it was written for a slightly older character.
of Christopher
But
Lloyd.
I mean, when Ben came in, I mean, he just
Marty!
he just totally knocked it out of the park, and I was like, okay, we don't need to see anybody else. So I
well,
was quite happy to write the character slightly younger and just adjust the way the scripts were.
Well, there was
just
that moment where you were like, "Oh, wait, maybe I should have Laura stand next to him."
Well, yeah. It's because let's just say there are things happening there later in the season.
Okay, so Joss, you get the call that he needs people, so you just start rolling through the Rolodex there. And what's your pitch
Well,
when you say?
Jocelyn knows like half of Dallas.
'Cause
And
from-
I think Byron Holder
She has
knows
a
the other
spreadsheet.
half.
I do have a spreadsheet. No, I think because I've been, a similar time frame as Ben. I started doing theater, professionally. I guess if you don't get paid, but it's not school, that's still professional, right?
I count it as whenever you get money, but whatever you
The first show I did get paid for.
Oh, there you
outside of
go.
School, so that was good.
You can get paid for this? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was
Really?
about 2002. It was
There is
right
some
out of,
exchange of goods and services.
right out of community college for me, but yeah,
Yeah.
right out- 2002. But over time, you collect a certain amount of contact sheets from shows, and I, pre-Facebook, wanted to keep in contact with some of those people if I really enjoyed working with them, or if I just thought they were hilarious.
Did
or
you just say
whatever.
pre-Facebook? Like you're
Was it
Yeah.
MySpace?
like you're just ancient over here?
Friends.
I never existed.
It wasn't. Well, it wasn't so easy keeping in contact with people. You would do a
wasn't.
show and
Okay, the progression of Facebook.
and then you would
Fine.
just not see them again after the show is over, because you weren't thrown in the same place 4 times a week. But I kept their contact information in my own spreadsheet on my computer, and so now whenever people say, "Hey, I need someone who's, I don't know, average height, blonde, can do the, sultry thing, and then I just go through my spreadsheet and go, oh, I don't know, like 4 girls that can do that.
That's why I never get picked. I'm not blonde or sultry.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
So it just kind of, it's not hard for me to file through the names. But with this, it was, there were a couple of characters that Jeff was having issues finding the right person for, and I just got a quick brief overview of what the character type was and when looking.
This network sounds awesome.
It is pretty fancy. But Ben came to mind without the spreadsheet, actually.
Now, when
Yeah,
you and
oh yeah,
Laura's,
you were standing there and you were like, "Hey, what about Ben Bryant?"
Yeah.
It was her brainchild, like.
Wow.
Slightly
your
scary.
brainchild.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was wondering what that chord was.
Okay.
Sometimes you just know.
I'm an old tick villain. That's great.
And then we come to Laura.
Get back to Laura.
Why
here.
are we back on me?
We're back
Well,
to you.
apparently you don't even have to audition for shows. You just walk in. I'm Laura Jennings.
I
Your
wish
cast.
that were true.
Yeah, right. I've
'Cause
seen
I
that
would have
happen.
left all of y'all for LA by now.
We love you
Wow.
too.
Well, luckily for me, Joe knew because Joe and I are not like close friends, but we knew each other. I extras on a couple of episodes of The Variants in the past. But Joe knew me well enough to give Laura a pretty good report that I was a normal guy, because I was completely prepared to contact this lady out of the blue and have her go, "Who the hell are you? Why are you talking to me? I'm getting a restraining order." But luckily,
She does do
luckily
that.
She, luckily, she responded positively and was interested in the show. So.
Especially when you send her.
don't think I didn't do my research
Oh,
first.
I'm
I
sure
was all.
you
I
did.
called Joe. Hey, who's this Jeff
Who's this
Smith
dude?
guy?
Who's this old dude calling
Is
me?
he cool?
Well, and it was funny because I just took your word for it too. I went because I was on Facebook scrolling through, and you had just been tagged in a photo for Stella B, the web series, and I was like, what the crap? I texted you immediately. I was like, what
She
is
did.
this?
I was like, listen, I'm like, oh, you should audition. That was my brainchild.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, Jocelyn.
Jocelyn was literally the first person that contacted me beyond past Laura. I mean, after I precast Laura, but once we sort of put the word out there, Jocelyn was the very first person that contacted me about auditioning.
To audition. But yeah, then it was oh, it's a web series. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, is it any good? Like, and we had that.
It hasn't happened yet.
Because you never know. It's independent film, really. And
Well, you guys get to
you don't
read
know.
the scripts.
Well, I did. I read this
Yeah,
script.
she-
and
yeah,
me
it's
too.
extremely well written. Jeff
Right.
has a real gift for writing.
Aw,
So,
thank you.
and
Is it
Joe
just
backed your
you?
play,
Is
too.
it just you
Yeah.
writing the scripts?
Yeah.
Y'all don't have like a sit down at IHOP and.
No, it's kind of one of those deals where that's one thing I do hold really close to the vest, just because I've had the experience in the past of working on a lot of sort of amateur and fan projects where, because a lot of times people have the equipment, but they're not really writers, and so they go out and ask for other people to do the writing.
Are you wearing all the hats pretty much behind the scenes?
Wow.
Yes.
Ooh.
Most of them.
See, I follow Jeff on Facebook, and like the whole week before episode 2 dropped, I'm like saying, posts basically, "Ah!" and I'm like, yeah, he's working. as someone that actually has started writing like
Yeah.
on promos and stuff, and
So, I
writing.
mean, I had the experience of, writing for other people and having it come out strange or bad or bizarre or not get made at all. And so, I mean, I virtually guarantee that anybody who's put themselves in the position I have has done it so they can basically get it to come out the way they want it to. And it's like, okay, I want to write this the way I want to write it, and I want it to sound like I wrote it. And I don't want 15 people behind me changing the words and because I was involved with a pretty elaborate Doctor Who. It was going to be a web series kind of deal, and that was a fairly unhappy experience. I mean, they did put out. I made a couple of really good friends through that experience, but as far as like the writing, it was basically a disappointment from start to finish. So literally, it was one of these things where like, okay, for once I want to do it my way, and so yeah, I pretty much keep the writing to myself.
So it's by choice. It's not
Yeah.
like I'm pretty sure any of them would come in and help you if you
sure.
if
Well,
you ask for
oh,
it
we
one day.
got-
Well,
we got
he'll
writers
be
and-
sure to use our lives.
I was gonna say he's gone from 15 people behind the camera screwing up the words to 6 people in front of the camera screwing up the words.
And then of course he follows you on Facebook. So
Yeah.
who's crude humor?
Yes, I am not above absconding with things that happen in real life and incorporating them into scripts.
Okay, one person in the chat room. Whose crude humor is great? I don't think Stella B is crude. Who's crude?
It's not crude at all.
Crude.
Nobody's crude humor.
There's no crude humor.
Unless he's talking about me. Oh, wait, he's talking about me.
Yeah, Jason, you have a potty mouth.
I do
Yeah.
not.
Yes, you
Where do
do.
you see
Damn
that?
it.
I think
Outtakes from
Stella B's
episode 2.
I
PG-13.
Yeah.
only call it PG-13 because the B word has happened a couple of times. That's it.
Yeah.
Like there really.
That's
hasn't
not
been-
such a bad word.
and
I
it's
call
not-
my
it's not
dog that all the
primetime
time.
TV.
I have to I have to show this to my mom, dude. So it can't be too.
Listening at the
Oh,
phone.
okay. No,
Yeah.
no. One of the chatters
Restored.
disturbed. He was saying, I've seen the episodes, and Ben is his favorite character.
Oh, yay.
Or Doc, I mean. His crude humor is great.
Bless your heart.
Doc's not crude to me. Doc's just,
Ornery.
honest.
Oh, he's a curmudgeonly character.
No, he's just honest.
Grouchy cuddly.
Grouchy cuddly.
Exactly.
I
That's
tried to model Doc after a lot of the pricklier fellows I can think of on television.
Hey, you can't
Archie
say that
Bunker.
on this show.
Characters?
Oh, okay. I'm going to use pricklier more in my speech now. Thank you, Ben.
Who wouldn't?
5 points to the lexicon.
That call was very prickly. that person. But Chris, you've watched the show. I saw you were like, yeah, this girl's great.
Yeah, I gotta say, honestly, here I gotta put myself on camera now because I gotta be important.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely.
What is up?
I gotta honestly say, one of the best indie web series I've seen. I've seen a lot.
Thank you.
And one thing I mentioned before we went on air is that this area has just, especially this region and this state, has exploded with a lot of these indie projects, and it's just awesome. And it's ironic. I don't want to sound and get all kind of weird or anything here, but
You're not going to
Too
cry,
late.
are you?
well, just a little.
That's a little
He does that before the show all the time.
I crawl up at a ball. Anyways, no. In all honesty, you guys, it reminds me of the people I know. So it feels good to see something that actually relates with my genre, my my life. So it's pretty damn awesome.
From the chat room, he's
Yeah.
having a moment there. I think it's cool just to have something that is local, that is in your
Yeah.
area. And at that point, you go, you're watching it. Hey, I know that place. Instead of like when I was watching Cops growing up, and it's like, the
or
Cops going down my
cheaters, or better yet,
love the
cheaters now,
Cheaters.
dude.
I did grow up in South Dallas.
Question, round the table question. Have any of you been on Cheaters yet?
No.
No, but
Thank
you
God.
have.
There was an episode where there was a guy on there when I was stationed in Corpus. Me and my wife were watching it. He looked a lot like me. And my wife immediately goes, is that like a cousin or a brother of yours?
I didn't even know till pretty recently that Cheaters was fake. Of course, I don't watch it, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like I never actually.
I
just
know.
seen
I was so
commercials
hoping
and
that
stuff,
show was
but-
real.
Well,
I've known a couple of people on the show.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, we know.
My wife, I asked my wife, I was like, you would never have those people follow me. And she's like, what for? I'll be like, what was that supposed to be? Oh, they'd follow you from Toys R Us to Walmart to Target. Oh, and he played video games for about 8 hours. You owe us money, lady.
Thanks, Joey Greco. Yeah,
well, go ahead.
I was going to say, there's a lot of not only the untapped talent, but you see a show like The Good Guys, which was on ABC very recently.
Or Fox, actually.
Fox,
Yeah,
excuse me.
yeah.
I'm sorry. And I could see somebody I knew every week who was on that show. Or they were shooting in a place that, I bought tacos 2 doors down from.
Yeah, right down the street, man.
See, you kind of get that feeling. It's in my town.
Yeah, people get more excited, I think, about the places that they recognize than anything else because I've had more people get more excited about, oh, Titan, I know where that is, than, oh, you're in
See,
a web
that's
series.
exactly what I'm saying. It's like, but you have that love. It's in your area. Like RoboCop. Okay, RoboCop should have been in Dallas. Screw Detroit.
You're talking
okay?
the statue, right?
Huh? No, the whole
actual-
thing should have been in Dallas because it
It
was.
should have been set in Dallas.
No
It should have been
kidding.
set in Dallas.
Yes, screw Detroit.
Dallas in
You
the
can
80s,
quote
yes,
me on
perhaps.
that. Okay, so we got off topic, which happens.
All right,
right
let's
here.
bring
There was
the
a
train
topic?
back on the track, sir.
There's a
Oh,
train to this.
I was just going to say, one of the things I always knew would sort of be an uphill battle with the show is that it's kind of formatted differently than a lot of web series. A lot of web series humor tends to be really wacky, sort of like really sort of broad, kind of, I don't know what's necessarily over the top, but just kind of more of a, goofy and wacky type of humor. And I always wanted this to be more character based, so I always knew it would be that would be sort of an uphill battle getting an audience. Plus, I also just really wanted the stories to be an organic length. I wanted them to be, because a lot of web series you see are like 8 to 10 minutes. That used to be because YouTube had a 10-minute limit.
Exactly.
Yeah, good
And nothing on YouTube could
Until
be
you
longer
get so
than
many
10 minutes.
videos loaded up.
To me, the progression of YouTube is amazing to me because, like, when I first went on there in, like, I don't know, 2009 or whatever it was, if you uploaded a video, it came out in big pixels that were like the size of, pie plates. And
Yep.
now you can upload high def, and it looks better than. Frankly, the show is going to look better on YouTube than it will on DVD because it's
This
a
is
higher
true,
bit rate,
yeah.
So I know it can be daunting to like click on episode 2 and go, wow, 30 minutes. This thing's 30 minutes long because a lot of people are used to really short web content.
It
But I
becomes my commercialist TV series I can watch.
So I mean, it just became that thing. Like that's what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be as long as it came out in the writing and as long as it came out in the filming and the editing. That's what I wanted it to be. So I was really happy to be able to just kind of do it and have it be what I wanted it to be, rather than trying to be what every other web series is. Sorry, I think there's a short in my headphones. I keep.
Yeah, probably.
It's just the table. It does it to everybody.
I think there is a
pretty,
sign around
pretty
here.
happy about the fact that it's not the wacky, over the top humor. Just because I don't think that would have been as much fun over time. Like as an actor, it's a little more fun to get in and just be a character and have conversations with other characters.
Well, on camera, you guys have
it's just a lot more natural.
You
and
guys have a great
enjoyable.
chemistry together when you're on camera. That's one reason I've even from episode 1, I enjoyed that chemistry. Is that to help things along? Do y'all have that?
Yeah, we're all.
no,
we're
they
all
hate
friends.
each other.
I feel
These guys hate each
yeah.
other. You can't
I mean,
imagine.
they were having a knife fight before we went on the air. But
I didn't, and like we said, me and Ben knew each other years. I don't even know when we met exactly.
Yeah,
but
I've seen her on stage before I ever met her in person, and
Yeah.
even then it was one of those things where we just ran into the same people at parties and just got along fine, and that same bonhomie made its way to a project that we work on. Yeah, naturally, our first project working together, we're supposed to be this very close-knit, almost sibling relationship. So it wasn't that hard to fall into.
Right.
It's a nice miracle of timing.
any guerrilla shoots, like you just got to get something done before the cops get you out of there?
We've done.
I knew this. And the chuckles, I knew it. See?
We've shot several things in public where we had absolutely no permit to be there, but we've never really been hassled.
we've been picking good times a day.
Yeah. Part of it is,
You were a little panicked, I remember, at the movie theater, though.
I was a little concerned at the
We gotta
movie
get this
theater
done.
just because it's right there on 635, and I just thought somebody was going to go, because especially, you can sort of, these days digital cameras are so small that it's pretty easy to not be real conspicuous. But when you got a guy there with holding the boom up over his head, it's a big long white pole.
You're done.
It becomes a little more conspicuous. And there's actually been a couple of things we've shot without the boom just so we wouldn't draw quite so much attention to ourselves. I was a little nervous at the movie theater.
Old man
But it wasn't
Cinemark is going to run out with
Yeah,
a
it was before really there.
Get out of my parking lot.
Exactly. There have been several times when I've waited for the cop car to pull up behind us, but so far it hasn't.
You see them coming. You usually see them coming.
You just scramble into the cars and
Just
screech
go,
out of them.
I'm so sorry. Or, hi.
Oh, we're not allowed to do this? Oh, I'm
Exactly.
sorry.
There you go.
No.
I didn't
I
know
didn't do
that. What's
They're like, just don't do it again. Yeah.
Is he gone yet?
You know who
All right,
I
let's
am.
go.
Pretend like you're
I'm
Peter
Jeff
Jackson.
Smith, man.
The funny thing is the scene in the that is set in the Las Colinas with the Mustangs. That's a 1-minute scene that would
Oh
take
my
me
God.
10 minutes to explain all the things that went wrong with it. Basically, we picked
Something
a
went
time-
wrong?
Well, we
Oh.
picked a time pretty early in the morning to go, and Jocelyn and Kevin were both there, and like literally, I think you hadn't quite. I think it was like 2 minutes before Jocelyn arrived. These guys pull up with these sand blasters to clean all the marble in the square. And they did this they proceeded to do this for like an hour and a half while we sat and
And
waited.
let me tell you, that marble was so clean.
They were doing it for you guys, Hey, we'll just wait until they're done. At least things will be
I
clean for
don't
the
even
shoot.
think they were done. I think they were going on like their afternoon, their morning break or their coffee break or something. Because we like ran over to that horse.
I think they were going to circle back around.
I think they were, yeah.
They're just going to do that all day long.
Well, for all-time annoyment, nothing really beats the time when we were shooting episode 3 and the fellow next door decided to mow his lawn for about 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It had to have been the same patch of 10 square feet of lawn.
Yeah, literally the next door neighbor started mowing his yard in the middle of like 105 heat at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Hey, I own a yard. Sometimes you got to get it done. The city is sending you letters. You got to get it done.
He kept going over the same
Yeah.
patch of- Anyway.
I think he was trying to do his own pitch and putt golf course, and the height of the grass was just not perfect.
Okay, so we got another question. So what's coming up for you guys? What can we expect to see in the future?
As far as I'm not going to tell you plot stuff.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are.
Yes, you are. It was.
Thumb screws.
Let's just say that things that have been set in motion will continue to develop to a hopefully interesting and funny conclusion.
You guys
Or
ever
at
see
least-
Red Dawn?
There's
Episode 3 should be a lot of fun. It is. It's
more lightsaber battles.
no
Because-
lightsaber battles. In this
Oh.
one. Whereas episode 2
Our
was
producer gets to perform.
that's. Huh?
Stephanie.
Oh yes, yes.
We
Adding
already
a-
talked about Stephanie.
You need to
Yeah,
talk about that.
that's true.
Oh, Stephanie, yeah,
There was Stephanie
Stephanie's
Jackson,
awesome,
who could not be here because she's on vacation.
and she needs to
lucky.
enjoy it.
Yeah. Stephanie is absolutely the
Greatest person.
Yeah, she's fantastic, and she's the reason. I told her at one point, I said, we wouldn't even be on the air if it weren't for you. It was like we might have debuted in December if I was still doing all this stuff by myself. So when you say, am I wearing all the hats? Well, in some ways, yes, but in a lot of ways, no. It's because Stephanie is fantastic at like organization, and she knows all these guys really well. They've all got a trust level with her. She's great at just
Anything she's put
And-
on,
yeah.
Stephanie is like the glue that holds a lot of stuff together.
And like almost everyone else here, I didn't know Stephanie before I started this project, but she and Laura are such good friends that, of course, I was around her. And at a certain point, I said to Laura, Stephanie seems like she's really a go-getter. Do you think she would want to be like a producer or something? She's like, she's like, yes, I think so. So ask her. And she was like, well, I've never done anything video before, but I'll absolutely give it my all. Of course, she has a ton of experience stage managing theatrical productions, which is a similar set of skills. It's not exactly the same, but
Yeah,
it's
she
a
has
lot.
cracked
It's-
the whip several times
Yes.
on me.
So yes, Stephanie
You
is
deserve
absolutely
I liked it.
a huge component.
That sounds
of
really hot.
Our success.
But as far as episode 3 goes, I don't say I'm speaking out of turn when I say it's what they call a bottle episode. A lot of it takes place in the same location, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of development going on.
And it's very much emphasizes the ensemble. So I mean, it's all about the characters. It's all about the interactions. This episode 2, very much by design, is in several different locations. It was to give the series a little bit of scope to show that, okay, we're going here and here, and this place has cool dinosaurs. And
They
this
do
place-
have cool
That's
dinosaurs.
that's my question. Will the dinosaurs be back?
Probably not, but
Oh.
you never know.
Yeah.
So then I thought it was then fun. I thought it was then fun to go back and sort of make episode 3 almost completely self-contained, and it all happens basically in one location, and it takes place over a relatively short period of time, except for there's a prologue at the beginning that's a lot of fun that I'm not going to say anything about. But the bulk of the episode is basically all in one location, and it's just about everybody interacting with each other, and some outside characters that we haven't seen before.
Does anyone die next season?
Next season? Oh, I have no clue what happens next
Oh,
season.
can we get like a cliffhanger if someone dies?
I think Wash dies.
Oh,
Wash.
No.
what?
No.
Wait, what?
Oh, wait, Wash is already dead. Anara? Let's kill Anara.
I am tired of it.
That's our theme song.
Ah, there we go.
Yes.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's time for us to leave, kids. We really appreciate you watching. We appreciate the cast
And the
crew.
creator of Stella being a Busted League. Thanks for coming by, guys.
Thanks for having us, guys. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
It's always
Had a
fun.
blast.
Yes, so check us out, Twitter, Untitled SCNS. Next week, guys, try using the Skype because we'd love to talk to you on air. That's it. It's been an awesome week. Thank you for watching, and if you're in Dallas, stay safe, stay dry, and keep on nerding. Adios.